Yeah, it does give.
That's just
It went to like my mom working,
it's actually an
making
indication for
money.
somebody outside of you to recognize who
To me, this
you
is
were as
humanity. It's almost sacrificing myself,
It's really a sign
as
of
if
the reality that we're all in is kind of like a sign.
I followed Christianity all the way to the end. The golden rule.
The metaverse falls
It
right
didn't
into,
work.
like, terminology.
And then when I hit that crossroad, I had two directions to go. And I was like, well, neither one of those directions makes sense. So I'm going to go this way. And I went almost in defiance of like God or whatever. I seen an answer. I just needed to present my answer to this spiritual realm. And it's like a father and a son, and the son saying, hey, man, there's something you're not seeing here, Dad. Will you just listen to me? Can I explain it to you so you understand? And then maybe we can work together and solve the problem. So it'd be like the Son of God talking to God saying, hey, man, you're not down here. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Let me show you what the fuck's going on. You come down here and you ride with me, and I'll show you just how fucked up it is down here.
I'll say your name.
And that's kind of how it happened.
Ethan Hawke. Cheers, dude.
And then it became like a game,
that
sort of.
Wasn't your role, man. That was a weird role for you to have, dude.
So when you think about eternity and you think about life and death, and you're in this weird
it's kind of like 1 hour
mindset, and it's a game. You understand reincarnation. Life, I wouldn't say loses its meaning, like as like an individual's life loses its meaning, but it kind of becomes
when a person plays a character that's out of their
a way to start you over.
It's really weird.
Kind of like Edge of Tomorrow type shit.
It kind of gives you
like when he would break his leg and she's like, oh, reset, and she'd shoot him in the head. Bam.
That person, but I guess just a character. But our interpretation of it kind of like subconsciously puts something there. Yeah. That's what characters are for, is to teach you subconsciously.
Yeah. Morgue.
That's why you got your people that do like LARPing, live action role play and stuff.
Morgue.
Think about them doing that.
834.
And then life itself.
64% plugged in. Stage. Morgue's a phone for dead people.
Outside.
He's basically teaching that religion structure. He's just filling in the holes for you and kind of recreating it in its own unique way and calling it something different.
Yeah,
he calls it Hyperionism.
It's just so cool, man. So fucking.
I really like that guy. Like he's got a good. If you were to follow somebody, definitely follow Morgue. Morgue is like he's not against religion. He does kind of come across like he is a little bit, and because he does come across like he is a little bit, maybe that's where I got my resentment from. But I don't think so.
Some of that,
the resentment was from like me.
And when I was talking to the spider, it's like
believing and having this belief system, me being Jesus again. Oh, this is the religion that I left behind. So this is me. Oh, okay. So you act that way, and then shit don't make sense.
That's why it has a whole lot to do.
If there was a karma, I should have everything. Everything I've ever wanted.
Thoughts in those steps that connect to your subconscious.
Because humanity is like. I remember one time I was like, man, I feel like the savior of humanity. This sounds weird, but I was like, doesn't that sound weird? And I was like, no, it don't sound weird at all. And I was like, really? That was like a human validation. Her name was Jay. JS. I would consider her like a witch. I remember she came over here one time and we had this conversation and I was like, go, girl, go. I thought she was going to like Freemason to talk to Freemason for me. And I was like, yeah, fucking go. But we had a weird conversation. It kind of seemed weird because when you're in this other place, man, you don't know how to explain it and shit. And you get this concept that somebody's on the same team as you. And you're like, yeah, do not doubt it. Go.
I closed my eyes as I thought Journey Road. Because I know that doctor was there, man. That's where it fucking happened.
I went out and I was hanging out with her or whatever, man, and it was wild because it was like I said something or she received some kind of signal and then just fucking snapped out of like the reality that she was in and like kind of robotically walked over to her bed and
So
sat down and laid down. I
It's
was
like I
like,
got
okay.
stopped.
I'm going to sleep. And I was like, that was weird.
And then a nurse.
And I left.
Observe and write shit down. Don't treat. Just observe and write shit down, and then charge you $12,000 for it.
Yeah. So I mean, if I was technically like an undercover doctor with pure intention of healing, like the hospital or the patients or the doctors or whatever, I went in, they charged me for it. I would think that I should get paid for it.
And you thought there was something wrong with him, so that you could charge him.
It's like I remember talking to my therapist one time, and I was like, I don't think you quite understand. I was like, I'm actually here for you. You're not here for me. And she's like, oh, well, I kind of see. She's like, I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for you. And I was like,
I'm
no.
not saying it's.
Well, to me, I don't know if I said no or whatever, but to me, that's not the way I seen it. I was meaning like, I'm here to educate you so that you can do your job better for others. And she got on board. I have videos of it when she like announced herself and stuff. She was crying. And she's like, this man is just.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Still trying to load 838 South Union. That's my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Exports house down. His name would have been Harold Lee Allen. He died of AIDS. And retrospect in this psychology and everything, and you understand what AIDS actually is. What is an aid? Medical aid, financial aid. Think about that. I know it sounds, and I would never want to watch somebody die like that because I did. But in a spiritual, if he would have had this psychology, I don't think he would have died. Because it's like a spiritual assistance. It's like a mercy.
The color of the hoodie itself.
And that would have been like, it would have been an Anubis aid through that way. He was homosexual.
I do believe
so. You think Anu,
when I see that,
Anus, Anubis, the design itself. It all kind of like correlates or aligns that way.
I think I ended up buying two.
You have to understand how to split your body in half. There's a vertical and a horizontal way.
Or interpret something.
And this goes back to, I don't think it goes back that far to ancient Egypt. No, I don't think so. This goes to like belts. It's like it was like animal contract. Yeah, because I wear a leather belt, man, and it would hurt my waist. And then we came up with that idea with the magnet in the front. Which a magnet was just, it was almost like a way to get through from the bottom to the top and identifying a frequency change that had to be in the front because it comes from the eye down there. So think of being low side and thinking about like your extended flesh being a head, which we call it a head. So it's another head. People all the time say you're thinking with the wrong head type thing. That's a real thing. The way I think with it is different.
He wasn't trying to control. He really had.
It's a spiritual thing. I didn't identify that for a long time, but then once I did identify it, and it had to do with the piercing. I identified it with the piercing. It's called Abgravia. I never identified it with the Prince Albert. Mm-mm.
And that's like your paranoid schizophrenia.
That's probably because I called him. I call him Elvis. Not for like any kind of. It was actually kind of funny because it looked like he had sideburns. Because I like trimmed him one time. And that's just how I gave him a name. I was like, man, you look like Elvis. Yeah.
They think it's some kind of fun.
Elvis was a king, not a prince.
Just like a police officer's badge. He's like, I'm Freemason.
Yeah, there's a humor side to it, man. You couldn't get through it. That's the one thing, man. When it comes to personalities and stuff, I was like, you can have it all, just don't take my sense of humor. I gotta keep my sense of humor.
That's just so Freemason
and a sense of humor tattoo
is actually an indicator for somebody outside of you.
Became such an important such an important like interpretation of something later that was not funny. And that's like samurai.
They're trying.
I did it underneath my belly button. It says "Don't laugh," and that would be a samurai.
Metaphysical, metaphor.
Cutting himself, killing himself. It would be. It's like noble. That's why the guy cuts his head off, because he receives that energy, that intelligence goes to him. He doesn't want to kill the guy, but he sees that he killed himself. Now he wants to stop his suffering, decapitation. And that goes back to insect, praying mantis.
Notice the black phone guy. I like his interview. Yeah, his interview was like,
yeah,
was like, you get it, dude. You get it. He's like,
I like funny tattoos. I'll get a tattoo of like a roll of toilet paper or
in an interview he had
something and says 20 seconds. 20 seconds?
Ethan Hawke.
Think about 20 seconds being 2 months for a dog.
Yeah, that
wash your hands. We're going to follow this fucking direction of this water flow. Whatever your hands do, we're going to connect to that water flow that you wash your hands with. And you use the restroom, so that's where your forward and reverse type thing comes in. And time travel is through
put it on TikTok, social media.
I would call it dog interpretation, but it's literally just like a dog. It's like a structure thing that is an animal structure. So don't think dog, think animal. It's like an animal mind. Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, that's fucking Polly and Doe right there. You keep looking at that picture. It is. Just a little bit of them, though, because I had to spread them thin, man. They were the most useful. Yes. Why? I don't want to take another one. 844. No. That's where it gets confusing. It's like, I don't feel nothing. I feel great. I mean, considering, how would a person feel stuck in this fucking situation to where you have all this useful knowledge that needs to be given to humanity and it's being prevented? So how else would a person feel? Mm-hmm. Somebody just looked through my ear. Shit. That'd be cybersecurity protocol. So cybersecurity protocol 1637. I'm sorry, 1337, 845. And I don't see that one. Yeah, I got my other iPad here. Ernest B. Worrell. Ew. What's earnest mean? Honest, I think. Yeah, I think he was on the other side of it, to be honest, at a certain extent, because like acting is part of it. Like you're acting to get this information through. That's where Hollywood gets involved. Yeah. Rabbit. I'll split because there's two, the rabbit and wolf. Can we compromise? Okay. I'll split.